Now here's a weird true crime story I stumbled across from 1951. It's about a guy who committed a string of armed robberies in the Los Angeles area and who was dubbed the Man from Mars Bandit on account of the disguise he wore. When I saw the old newspaper photos, the first thing I thought, though, wasn't a man from Mars, but wow, that looks like Mad Max. I'm talking about that poster for that first Mad Max movie from 1979 with Mel Gibson that George Miller directed. But this was 1951, 18 years earlier than that. So what's going on? Anyway, it got me interested. So here's the story. Okay, it's December 11th, 1950. The location, the Shopping Bag Supermarket on West Valley Boulevard in Alhambra. It's nearing the end of the day, so the cashier's tills are full of money. That's when an armed robber comes into the store. He's wearing a motorcycle cop's uniform with high boots and leather gloves. He's holding a 12-gauge shotgun. He has a bandolier of spare shells across his chest, a skull and crossbones patch on his pocket, 2 pistols in his belt. It's his head, though, that really freaks everybody out. He's wearing a football helmet done up with a spike on the top, a skull on the front, and spiral wires coming out from the sides, and a hood and goggles and gas mask to hide his face. He orders the cashiers to clean out their tills and give him the cash. Then he disappears. 1 month later, on January 10th, 1951, he does it again. He hits a second supermarket, Crawford's Market, a couple miles east on Valley Boulevard. Same outfit, same weapons, same MO. He steals $780. He returns to this same store, Crawford's, in February, and then again in March, and he gets away with another $3,500. Then he hits a third supermarket a couple miles further east, the Boys Market. This one's his biggest haul yet, nearly $5,000. He's getting really bold now, intimidating shoppers and staff by shooting the buttons out of a pop machine in the store, showing how good he is with a gun. This old footage is a recreation of the robberies from the 1952 TV show Gangbusters, filmed at the stores where the robberies actually took place. The actor playing the Man from Mars Bandit is wearing the actual outfit that was later recovered. The police by this time are putting everything they have into catching this guy. Off-duty cops are staking out supermarkets, and everyone suspicious is being questioned. The newspapers have latched onto the story too. They're calling the robber the Man from Mars Bandit, because that's what witnesses say he looks like, a man from Mars. Why is he robbing supermarkets? Because there's no security, and they're big with a whole line of cashiers all taking in money. And by the end of the day, all those tills are full of cash. That's why he commits his robberies in the evening, just before supermarkets are closing. So who was this guy, this Man from Mars Bandit? Let's take his mask off. Here he is. His name was Forrest Ray Coulson, and he was a cop. A former cop who'd been fired. He grew up in the LA area, the son of a single mother who the papers would euphemistically describe as having a lot of boyfriends. He dropped out of high school and joined the Marine Corps, and he did well at first, distinguishing himself as a marksman and getting promoted to corporal. But in 1943, things started going downhill for Coulson. He got into trouble for stealing an officer's car and taking it for a joyride on the weekend. That got him sentenced to the brig and psychiatric evaluation. He got reassigned after that to the military police and was sent overseas to Tientsin, China. He supposedly shot and killed a man there, a local Chinese who was caught stealing rifles from a U.S. military warehouse. After returning to the States and being discharged from the Marine Corps, Coulson got a job with the Monterey Park Police Department in Los Angeles County. He lasted there for only 3 months. He was tall and handsome and looked great in a uniform, but he was a lousy cop. He would hang out with his girlfriends when he was on duty, and he even drove around with them in his patrol car. The police chief who fired him recalled that Coulson was, quote, an irresponsible kid who never grew up. Coulson got one more chance at being a cop after that with the police department in nearby Glendora. But his unreliable behavior and womanizing on duty continued. When the police chief called him into his office and fired him after only 2 months, Coulson put his revolver to his head and threatened to kill himself. The chief talked him out of it and sent him on his way. That was in 1949. Coulson's supermarket robbery spree began the next year. After laying low through the months of June and July 1951, Forrest Ray Colson, the Man from Mars Bandit, started stealing again. On August 17th, he hit Ralph's supermarket in Arcadia. He fired a shotgun blast into the ceiling and ordered the assistant manager to bring him the money from all the tills. Then he used the guy as a shield to leave the store and escape. This was robbery number 6. For Coulson's next robbery, number 7, he returned to Boys Market on Valley Boulevard, the same store he robbed back in May. It would be his biggest score yet. But his luck was about to run out. This is more footage from that 1952 TV show Gangbusters, filmed at the actual location. The Boys Market staff, including the store manager, all play themselves. Okay, so it's evening, October 11th, 1951. The store is about to close. One of the cashiers is pulling out of the parking lot to go home when she spots the Man from Mars Bandit slipping into the store through a side entrance. She had been on duty when he robbed the store back in May, so she recognizes him right away. She drives to the first gas station she comes to, and she calls the police. Back at the supermarket, Coulson has the manager at gunpoint. He walks him down the hallway to the cashier's cage at the back of the store, and he grabs all the cash on hand, more than $13,000. By this time, 2 cops, E.F. Whitey Nelson and Harry Stone, have arrived on the scene and have entered the store, one from the front, one from the side. While Nelson checks the aisles, Stone heads to the office in back. He spots Coulson exiting the cashier's cage with his loot and using the store manager as a shield. Stone, who'd served in the Marine Corps just like Coulson, takes aim with his service revolver, waits for a clear shot, then boom! He hits Coulson in the temple with a single shot and drops him to the floor. Coulson is still breathing when Stone approaches, but not for long. Forrest Ray Colson, the Man from Mars Bandit, was declared dead at the LA County Hospital 2 hours later. The police estimated that Coulson stole a total of more than $50,000 during his crime spree. They had a theory that he had a hideout somewhere, and they searched the backwoods around San Bernardino looking for it, following a lead. But they never found it, and they never found the loot. So Coulson either spent it, or it's still buried out there.
Now, this is one of the police officers here on the San Gabriel Police Force who was in on the capture of the Man from Mars down at Boy's store. Officer Nelson.
Well, that's the way this job goes. I guess things do get kind of rugged once in a while.
And now here is Officer Stone, who actually shot the Man from Mars with only inches to spare.
I didn't know for a couple seconds whether to shoot or not, but luck was with me, I guess. I've spent many a restless night wondering what would have happened if I'd have missed.